Howdy, hey folks. We are going to be diving in here presently. Appreciate all your patience. Hope you're having a frabjous day. Just sending out the announcements. Had to go to a doctor's appointment today. A little bit behind because of that. We're excited to be here with all of you. Grab our link for YouTube, because they make it just hard every single time. All right. There we go. Throw this in our stream announcements. Very, very cool. Let's see. Chat is broken. Let me see if that will fix it. Hooray. Good. Amanusis, you like the background music? I'm so glad. Welcome in. All right. And, okay, I think we're good. Hello! How are we today? I am tremendously excited. I know that much is certain. Woo! I've been reviewing the recordings of the VODs, or rather of the stream, and we have improved our microphone quality pretty dramatically. I mean, visual quality as well, but I was quite impressed with the microphone quality updates we've had, seeing as how we're using all of the same equipment that we started off with, if you'll believe it. If you go back to the very first stream that we did, it did not have anywhere near this level of quality, but it's all the same equipment. So that's just the testament of good lighting, good sound deadening, having the right levels tuned in for everything. Makes a world of difference. This is all pretty inexpensive stuff, which is why it's not the highest quality thing in the world. Just a C920 camera, which by nowadays is a dinosaur. And we've got our Blue Yeti here, which, you know, is fine. It's not very highly viewed, but, you know, it's all right. Oh, man. How are we all doing today? Have any of your games been reviewed by excessive profanity for the Game Jam contest? I understand there's been some controversy about that recently. Someone just sent me a itch thread that got locked because of wanting to discuss excessive profanity's particular brand of feedback. All right. Well, cheers. Have my email up. Perfect. Thanks. Thanks, OBS, for making that easier. There we go. Let's do that. Goodness gracious. I'm progressively moving through things, cleaning them up. Oh dear. Look at all that up there. What's happening up there? One of these days will be a big boy stream. One of these days we'll go live and things will just work. And we won't have to spend 20 minutes trying to get stuff working. Hold on. Hold. Goodness gracious. Okay, we can get rid of these, come back over here. Okay, good. It's an artsy film grain that was put there on purpose. That's right, it's a feature, not a bug. How dare you imply otherwise? All right. Let me get this worked out here. Where is our camera? There it is. Okay. Filters. Oh dear. Yeah, OBS for whatever reason does not play incredibly nicely with this other software that I use to manage my video. Let's turn our gain down. Maybe point this light over here a bit more. And now we've got a full massive corner right over there that is just not wanting to be lit. Let's move this light over and see if that helps. Oh dear, everything's falling. Everything's falling. Everything is falling, but it's all fine. No need to be alarmed. Just priceless treasures, emotionally driven, oh dear, sentimental value through the roof, falling through the floor. Boy, let's bring this down, maybe. How's that? Can be any better? Oh, that's way better. Okay. We're getting pretty close here. Getting pretty dang close. Just got a little bit to my side here we need to keep toning down. Goodness gracious. Let's turn this light up. Okay. We're getting there. You know, you'd think in a room as controlled as we've made this, there's no outside light coming in anymore. You'd think this would all be just easy to do now. All right. How's that? Worse. It's worse. Exactly what I was looking for. Good. Oh dear. Yeah, I do apologize. I haven't sorted this all out so far. I had to go to a doctor's appointment. Everything is fine. Just a routine checkup on some medication. But it did make me a lot later than I would like to be. So let's keep dragging this white balance down until we kind of get to a good spot. Oh dear. Because we do want some semblance of white balance, but also that's knocking out the green screen pretty well. Okay. Just a teensy schmeensy amount of grain. Don't need a lot. And then... Ooh, right. That's not helping. Let's go to our light. Let's turn that off. Okay. I think we're basically there. We did it, Reddit. Great job. And we got to give it the old flipperoo. Flip horizontal. There we go. All right. Woo! This is the high quality content you're all here for. I know it. There we go. We got the code clear. All right. Oh, almost there. Okay, good. The setup is done. The important thing is we're on time and only 20 minutes late. Oh my goodness. How's everyone doing today? I hope we're having a great time. Really, truly do. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up here. For those of you who are unaware, just as a reminder, for those of you who are aware, and as a way of announcement, for ththose who are not, Amanusis and I are going to be doing a lovely little feature that Amanusis got moving on. He's the one who pioneered this thing. And we're going to be interviewing Pirate Software Game Jam team submissions, or rather, not submissions, the teams themselves. We'll be interviewing them tomorrow in the afternoon. So be sure to be here at 4:30 or on Amanusis' channel, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking with 9 different teams. Each of those teams is going to get about 15 minutes. It's going to be an action-packed, really condensed session where we're going to be discussing about all the things that tons of different people learned. You're going to want to be there. It's going to be very, very rad. 10, actually. Ooh, we got a 10th. That's good. Round numbers. So, you're going to want to be here for that tomorrow. In the meantime, today, you can see behind me, this is what we're working on today. We've got our scope that we're trying to define. Let me shrink my head a little. Oops. Oh, come on, OBS. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, that's a little bit more visible. We're going to be defining our scope and trying to architect out how we're going to build our high polish jumping game. Once again, this is the big lesson that I have learned recently through the Pirate Software Game Jam and also through 10 years as a product software designer. Polish wins. Polish is more important in the eyes of the public. Now, for those of you unaware, there is an actual scientific term for this. And that term is the aesthetic usability effect. Let me boost this up here. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Aesthetic usability effect. Google that, and you will find all sorts of really interesting things. It is a major reason for the success of Apple in recent years. They started off being incredibly usable. Absolutely amazing. And then over time, the usability kind of started to wane in favor of aesthetic. And it got them exactly what they were hoping to get. Now, granted, there's a lot to be said about how they have gone about marketing as well. Their chief evangelist officer, which was like a real position that existed. Apple's chief evangelist, just to show I'm not bluffing here, Guy Kawasaki. I believe is this guy's name. Yes. Apple's chief evangelist for 4 years. Yep. Oh boy, interesting. So, did his job really well. And because Guy Kawasaki did his job so incredibly well, Apple became a cult. It became many, many things that it was not at its inception. If you want to deep dive into this, start Googling articles from the original designers of Apple, like the old Apple Macintosh desktop computer, and there are some pretty scathing remarks from them about modern day Apple. And with that being said, I'm not going to stand here and say I'm a better designer than all of the designers at Apple. They do good work. They do very good work. Very, very good work. Pretty much everything they build is free from a lot of the problems we're encountering in tech right now, which is they take the time that they need in order to make things as good as they should be. And that's a powerful, powerful differentiator. However, in my opinion, they have strayed far from the roots that made them big. And that's just fine. You know, for many, many people. Many people find it easier to use them. I'm not going to debate that. My wife is a big Apple enthusiast. And, you know, it's been hard learning how to live with someone who's so thoroughly wrong. But, like, we manage, right? Okay, enough dickering around. That's a word, right? Dickering? To dicker? Engage in petty argument or bargaining. I feel that's very fair of what I've been saying. And of course, if there is a verb to dicker, then there must then be a gerund of dickering. Enough dickering dithering. We have development to display. So, today, what I want to get done, I want to architect out how is this thing going to work. I want to do a good job architecting this from a code standpoint. Even though we're just going to be building a prototype right now, I really want to exercise my muscles I built over the game jam, and that many of the community members have been helping me to do. Alex Nord, what was his name? Tommy Nader, Eosapien, all of these people have been coming in and giving me wonderful coaching on how to build things better. And I want to put that into practice today. So what we're going to do up here is I am going to diagram out what are we trying to build and how are we going to architect that. So and to be honest, I don't have formal education on this, or at least not to the degree that other people have. So I'm going to start with something simple. It may be the wrong direction, and that's okay. I'm just going to try stuff. I'm going to see how far it takes me, and then I'll learn. And we'll just try and go fast, and we'll condense the time to learning as much as we possibly can. So to start off with, I think I'm just going to go with like a general list of actors. What are all the things? In Game Maker terms, this would kind of be like objects. Which objects are going to exist? So we need to have the player, and their attributes are going to be jump, height, and jump length, I guess? Jump length. We're going to have anything else related to jumps. Rodmaker, good to see you. Welcome in. Jessica joined now. Are we already prototyping the jumping game? We're architecting it right now, Rodmaker. So what I've been saying to everyone else in the chat right now is I really want to try and exercise the coding muscles that I built up over the duration of the game jam. We had people like Tommy Nader and Alex Nord and Binwill coming in and coaching me quite a lot on development. And I was kind of in the middle of things, and I didn't feel comfortable taking their suggestions up in the moment. But I've been thinking about them, I've been studying them, and I'm going to try and put those into practice right now. So I'm just going to architect out what are all the attributes of the different objects that we've got here. And the idea is, once I have this mapped out, I will be able to identify, okay, this needs to be a global, this needs to be a global, this needs to be an array, this needs to be a struct, all that sort of stuff, so I can go into the prototyping with a plan. That's the idea. Thank you for joining us, Rodmaker. It's a pleasure to see you. How are you doing, by the way? How's it been going with the game jam? Have you gotten Mage Knight reviewed by anyone yet? we started off the stream discussing a little bit of the controversy that's been going around in that space. And I think we could talk a lot more about that and have a very healthy, positive discussion that isn't accusatory or closing any doors for anyone. I think there's a very reasonable discussion to be had about how things are being judged right now. So, okay, so we have the player's jump height and length. Do we want, like, I could see this as a possibility. It wouldn't be a bad idea to build it in just so it would be easier. Is activation time. So really, what we're looking at is like charge length. So this is length of distance. And this is like hold in spacebar to charge up, then make a really big jump, right? Okay. And then we'd probably also have a charge multiplier that would affect height and length, distance length. You know, it would have some sort of effect. Although this probably would not belong to the player. This would belong to the power-up or something. Rodmaker says, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. What about you? Still haven't gotten any reviews. As soon as I get one, I'll let you know and discuss it with you as well. I would love that, Rodmaker. That would make my day. I would love to hear what your experience is getting reviewed there. I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually know how to tell if people have reviewed your game. Like, do you get a notification if they rate your game and then you can go in and view the rating? I don't know how that works. I've been trying to keep an eye on all of the different streams and saying, okay, has Kip Boga like published a new video or something? And is he calling anyone's games a scammer or whatever, right? And it's a lot of time, and I'd love to not have to spend that time. All right. Oh, and you know what? We need to boot up stream avatars. Yes, we do. Because what is a stream without tiny little men walking around the bottom of it? I did something with this the other day. What did I get function? Oh yeah, I like changed the time it takes for everyone to disappear and stuff. Because I don't like the idea of forcing everyone in the chat into the stream avatars. But also, like, people were disappearing in a few seconds and it made it seem like a ghost town every single time. And I didn't love that. Okay. Oh dear. It's not allowing it's not logging anymore because I had to do two-factor authentication. That's fine. You'll have to deal without your tiny dancing men. I know this is a struggle and a trial, but we'll get through it together. We will pass through the desert of our infirmities, and we will go to a promised land. It'll be okay. All right. So the charge multiplier, I think we can move down. Because I don't think it's going to be a factor of the character's jump. But it is important to note because height and distance are going to need to like receive something and pass through a potential multiplier. And then we also need run speed. Potentially. Because the question is going to be, is this an auto-scroller where you are running? Or is it an auto-scroller where the only time you progress is when you press spacebar? And this is another good thing. This is forcing good design questions. So let's bring this, oops. Come on, back up. Let's bring this over. So right, our design questions are, do we have running? Or is this Frogger? I like it being Frogger. I think Frogger is due for a roguelike update. You know, it's happened with Breakout, it's happened with Tetris, it's happened with many, many, many different classic arcade games. I think Frogger's due. I think Frogger's due. I think we're going to go with this, which means we're going to move run speed out of here. This is not a part of the game for our character. Cool. I like that. I like the direction, I like the approach, and I like the simplicity of it. Rodmaker says, so like horizontal or vertical progression, right? In a sense, because you could have Frogger horizontally. You could have Frogger vertically. You could have a runner vertical, and you could have a runner horizontal. Like Temple Run, right? Temple Run is a vertical runner. So, but then also, similarly, on the phone, this is a fun example, you have the contrast between Temple Runner and Mario, the scroller that they made. I just downloaded it the other day for my daughter because she's in such a Mario, like, frame of mind because of the movie. No, I probably put it in kids. Mario Run. That's what it is, which is a perfect name for it. Mario Run. Okay. It's a difference, right? Temple Run, vertical. Mario Run, horizontal. Mario Run does a lot of really interesting things with the runner space, by the way. They may be a game we look at when we're trying to polish and see how are they actually doing these things. So very excited about that. Okay, I think. Oh no, you know what? Lives. That's another thing. Lives. Okay. Game Maker 2D Fighter on YouTube. Hello, everyone. How your day going? My day is going very well. I hope everybody else does the common courtesy to respond to Game Maker 2D Fighter and says how their day has been. No, it's been great. We've been talking about the kind of controversies surrounding the judging of the Pirate Software Game Jam. We've been discussing, just all sorts of stuff. We spent a fun 10-15 minutes trying to fix the green screen again. Hooray. That was just riveting entertainment for everyone who was here. And right now we're trying to architect this small scope, high polish game. So I'm trying to put into practice everything that people taught me over the Game Jam, all that I learned over the Game Jam, in order to start in on the prototype in a very clean, refined code that will make iterating fast and easy. That's the hope. That's the theory. I hope I'm not diving too far into code polish at this point, and I very well might be. But this is a good error to make if it is. It's a good time to make that mistake of going too heavy, because I very rarely go too heavy. I almost always go too light. I almost always favor nimbleness over refinement. So this will be a very good contrasting experience for me. So we've kind of diagrammed out the player. These are all the attributes of the player that we're going to need to have. And then we're also going to need some world stuff. So we're going to need the level content, which will include... Bring this up a little bit more. Yeah, Game Maker, how's it going? Are you started in officially on your Metroidvania Game Jam? Or is that starting tomorrow, officially? They probably haven't revealed the theme yet, if it's a month, right? They'll probably reveal it February 1st. So level content will have obstacles, and these block movement. And then we'll have hazards, and these damage. And then we have, scroll this up, enemies. Which will probably... Are there going to be any pickup items? Yes, there will be, Rodmaker. Absolutely. That, like, concept of tribute is kind of a very key and integral part of this. So, here's a question I have, and I get to this question every single time whenever we build a video game design, and I get stuck here, and I'm going to try to not get stuck. The place I get stuck is enemies. Because if there's not a clear concept of how does this game function, then I don't know if enemies are just a dynamic hazard. Are they essentially just spike traps, but that move intelligently or non-intelligently? Or are they an overcomable obstacle? I kind of like the idea that they are overcomable. So they need HP. And the reason I like that is because I was thinking in my head, what would this game look like? If we did do this, what would it look like? So if we have our screen here, there we go. If we have our screen here, and I am on my platform, and I'm seeing a bunch of platforms coming my way, what I can then do with the player is I can make this a lot more dynamic, where we can have like a bad guy right here. And you can, as the player, potentially do some sort of like jump, hit the bad guy, and then bounce onto the platform if this is too far for a normal jump, right? I think that's interesting. I think that brings a lot of dynamic-ness into it. I think baiting the enemies to aggress towards you in some way is now interesting. It allows us to play a lot with the power-ups, because now we can have, like, on jump, you do, like, a big shockwave, and it blasts things that come by. Enemy HP, enemy AI, enemy pathfinding, enemy states. Absolutely. Ooh, states. You know, this is that's why it's good to have you guys here. We need states. Oh, and we're still in the... let me actually organize based off of what I have done. So we'll smash world down here because we're in the player right now. So we have our jump attributes, but then we're also going to need... You're dead right. We're going to need states. Well, and lives. Lives are... So we're going to need max and current. This is so helpful already. I'm really glad we're doing this. And let's see. Game Jam starts in 15 days. So I have 2 weeks. I just did a live explaining my game plan. Okay, well, I know what I'm going to go watch as soon as I have a moment today. I also go through technical difficulties in my live, but I will go on later today and start working on it. I'm so excited! Wait, so the Game Jam starts in 15 days, but you can start working on it right now? I'm a little confused by that, but I am so excited to tune in. I can't wait. I can't wait. That sounds so rad. I'm really, really excited. Are you going to be doing all of your own art as well? For those of you who don't know, GameMaker 2D Fighter legit, like, does some good art. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. When I had GameMaker 2D Fighter slide into the channel back in the day, and they said they were making a fighting game, I was like, oh, okay, I had, like, an image in my head of this person's skill set. No, it's like, it's very well-rounded individual, producing everything on their own. They just produced a second character I saw on one of their videos. I think you did a video showcase of the second character. And I was like, dang, dude, that looks great. And the animations are super smooth. Like, doing good stuff. Yes, sir, yes, you can. And yes, I will, but I'm having a beat jam with my friends for music. Oh, dude, that's rad. I need to jump on a call with you sometime or something, and you can coach me how to just get started in audio, because I have no clue how to get started in audio, and I really need to. I have to get more well-rounded. You know, I'm not an artist, but I have tried to be an artist a lot, and I think given the right motivation, I could really sit down and develop that skill set quite a lot. But, and UI design, I'm pretty okay at. I'm getting better. I'm in a course right now, a like multi-$1,000 course to try and improve my UI skill sets. But audio, I have no clue, and I should have a clue. My dad wrote several musicals in his professional career. I should know music, at least a little bit. Let's go. Yes, there are a million things for people like us to get it by. Yeah, to get us by. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And that's why I love it. That's why I love it so much. I never thought I'd be one of those people that said, I love work. I just love working 18 hours a day. But then I started this, and I'm like, no, like, I get it. Like, you can find something that you just love. And my ADHD brain has an actual infinite amount of things to think about and work on and progress, and it's all up to me. It's like complete ownership, which is something I've never, ever experienced before, and it's thrilling. Let's go, GameMaker 2D Fighter. I'm still thinking if I should join the Metroidvania Game Jam as well. Oh, nice. Very cool. If you join, Rodmaker, let us know. You should. It's my first, so why not join? Is it 2D Fighter, is this your first Game Jam, period? You've never done one before? I know this fighting engine is kind of like your first major project, right? Okay, back to here. We've got lives, we've got states. So we'll need idle, we'll need jumping, and we'll need hit. Scroll this down. Okay. Very cool. And I think that's good. I think that's good on the player. Oh! Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's drag all this down. Goodness. We're gonna have to start, like, organizing horizontally in a little bit instead of vertically. So we have states, but we're also gonna have, like, boons. We'll just call them boons for now. And we're gonna need a list of all acquired boons. Acquired. Yes, you inspired me to do so. Oh, that... I'm happy to hear that, 2D Fighter. Thank you for telling me. That's another one of those make my day sorts of moments. I hope it's a good experience for you. And I can't wait to see what you produce. I really legitimately can't. Rodmaker, you as well. If you join in, I want to see what that mind comes up with. For those of you who are unaware, Rodmaker built Mage Knight. If we open this up here. Miasma TD, our nemesis. Because they have a name similar to ours. Mage Knight. It's like this bullet hell Legend of Zelda Souls-like, which was a lot of fun. Very, very impressive for just 2 weeks. It's very short but sweet, and you can get through it pretty quick. And it's just a neat little thing. I love it, and I was really impressed with the polish of the bullet hell aspects and everything. So I would love to see what that mind produces for a Metroidvania game jam. That would be rad. Okay, so we have our list of acquired boons, and I think that's all we'll need. Oh! Tribute collected. Yes, that's another thing we need. Tribute. We're gonna need total and collected. And this is bringing up another good design question here. Alex over on YouTube. Hello, hello. Hand pink waving face red heart shape. Hand pink waving face red heart shape to you as well, my emoji related friend. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Are you building anything right now? Are you gearing up for this big Metroid game jam as well? You're so kind, man. Really makes my day. Well, you make my day. You make my day, absolutely. Thank you for being here. This smile, you can't fake. You can't fake that, you know? So I just appreciate everyone being here. For those of you who are unaware, see, I didn't even get to do my vocal warm-ups today. That doctor's visit really set things back for me. For those of you unaware, we are a charitable organization that we're building a charitable organization that is devoted to helping people develop the skill sets that they never thought that they could, so that they can try and enter the video game industry, whether that's building things as a lone developer, joining an indie studio, or a AAA dev studio. We're all about helping each other out, building something together, and trying things that we never would have considered before. That's one of the big reasons, 2D Fighter, I got that big goofy smile on my face when you said you inspired me to do so, to enter that game jam, because it's, okay, yeah, some ego, inflation, but the big thing is the mission is starting to really take effect in people's lives. I never considered doing this stupid, ridiculous thing that has all sorts of reasons to not do it, but I kind of wanna, so I'm gonna try it. That's exactly what we're hoping to see. That is just, wow, love it. Okay, so we have total and collected. The design question that I had on this is, do we have collected? Or do we reset it, like spend it or lose it? And I think that's probably going to be the direction we want to go. I think we do want to spend it or lose it, because I think that will force really interesting interactions with our Pantheon. In fact, I don't think you should lose it. I think you should spend it. I think you have to spend it. Because if we go back to our design here, where we have our different, like, you do that day's training or run or tribute gathering or whatever it ends up being, and now you have 3 out of 6 deities you need to push your currency towards, it would be all too easy to just like not engage in that mechanic and only invest into a single deity and just monoload it. And I think that would defeat a lot of the purpose of the dynamism of the relationships, those jealous interactions between the gods. I don't want to lose that. And I think forcing people to spend it would reinforce that and result in a more enjoyable experience. Not just push something of a design that I think is neat. I think it would actually enhance the player experience. It would introduce more creative tension that they'd have to find a way to resolve. And that is the core loop of all games, and most particularly roguelikes. Alex over on YouTube says, I'm a software dev, an old Rod friend. Happy to know people still try indie games. Thank you. Awesome. Very cool. Software dev, are you in like web dev or application development? Also, feel free to just hang out if you'd like. You don't need to type in chat at all. We're very friendly towards the lurkers here, and I appreciate every single one of you. And when you say old Rod friend, I'm going to add another question on here. You can choose to not answer. Do you mean a friend of Rodmaker? In any case, we love Alex's here. My dear cousin, who was born a month after me, who we were just best friends all growing up, and we would call each other our twin brothers. His name was Alex. We have an Alex Norden chat who has tutored me quite a lot on development. We're big fans of Alex's over here. Cool. So I think we're going to take collected here, and we're going to move it off to the side. We're not going to need that. Okay. Back-end dev. Okay, very cool. Very cool. I have done a very small amount of back-end dev in my day, but all in web. So I worked at an agency, a marketing agency, and I was the head of their web dev department and UX design. And so I did, I did some PHP. I did some SQL. I messed up some tables and broke a couple websites with angry clients calling us frequently. Rodmaker, yeah, close friend of mine, which inspires me to keep on this game dev journey. Oh, wonderful. Oh, well, any friend of Rodmaker is a friend of ours. Welcome in, Alex. Thank you for being here. Rodmaker, thanks for inviting Alex in. That's awesome. Any inspiration to you is, I'm sure, going to be an inspiration to me. So welcome in, Alex. Okay. Y'all are great. I'm just gonna cry for a little bit, okay? You don't mind me. I'm just gonna be really happy about everything for a little bit. Anything else for the player? I don't think so. I think we've got our states, we've got our boons, we've got our tribute, we've got our lives, we have our jump. And I think that's everything. Thank you. Nice to meet you all. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. So let's go ahead and jump to the world now. The world is going to have the content within the levels. It's going to have obstacles that physically block your movement. There's going to be hazards that do damage. There's going to be enemies that you can jump to interact with. And they can even possibly act as like extra jumping points, which I think could be really interesting. They can serve as things that will prevent movement, they're essentially interactable obstacles and hazards with AI. And that seems to kind of be the entire concept there. So in addition to obstacles, hazards, and enemies, we also need to have our platforms. We will need different versions. I'm not going to put a number down right now because we don't know. We haven't prototyped it yet. We haven't seen what seems to work or not. And we really, really only have a very loose definition of design. We're taking a highly iterative approach to this game. So as of right now, I'm pretty sure we will know that we want different lengths. I don't know we're going to have to really care about that with the code unless we are dynamically generating. Oops, sorry, hit the microphone. Unless we're dynamically generating widths, which could be interesting. We could start with a left border and then have repeatable midsections. And then have a right border. And then we could programmatically assemble that all together into varying length platforms and send them at the player dynamically. That could be really fun and interesting. Okay. By the way, if anyone has any thoughts or concepts or anything, feel free to shout it out while we're going. I think I'm going to start moving horizontally now. We've got the world, we've got our player. Let's design out maybe just one enemy type. And I'm going to start changing colors here to make this a little more visually interesting, and I can actually tell what is going on. So we've got the world, and we'll make you bold. We've got the player, we'll make you blue and bold. And then let's grab enemies and start building them out, architecting them. By the way, we are having a really great discussion on how to leverage channel points over on our Discord. We did get invited to be an affiliate over the weekend, so we're exploring that right now. I'm dealing with a lot of the stuff. If you're a longtime friend of the channel, you've heard me say we're a nonprofit many times, and I need to put a disclaimer in Discord saying we are not actually incorporated as a nonprofit yet. And one of the big reasons we haven't gone affiliate yet is because we're trying to work all those details out. If you are a nonprofit, you cannot fundraise without a certificate of fundraising. And if you do, you get in very big hot doo-doo with the IRS. So we're not doing that yet, and we're still exploring, frankly, whether a nonprofit is the right direction for what we're actually trying to accomplish, or if doing more of a charitable enterprise would be the right approach. So we're still exploring the tax structuring and all that sort of stuff, and what are the requirements of being a nonprofit. And do you have a link to the Discord? Yes, there should be a link. Oh, you're on YouTube. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I got this set up. Do I have this set up in StreamBot? StreamerBot. Oh, looks like we don't. Okay, and StreamerBot is not wanting to load for me. Well, that's not good. Open. Let me grab an invite link, and I will throw that in the chat. I know we have links to YouTube and Twitch back and forth, but there we go. StreamerBot. Unable to refresh your Twitch Oh, that's right. I had to do two-factor authentication to get ready for affiliate and everything, and so everything has now completely broken down. So I need to redo that. I need to relog in. In any case, there's our Discord. Feel free to come in, hang out. Rod, great to see ya. And yeah, we have a poll. If you scroll up in general, we have a poll talking about how you may like to see channel points get leveraged on the channel. That's the thing we're kind of most excited about, because the whole goal of this is to drive an inordinate amount of value to everyone who is participating in the channel, whether they are a part of these cohorts or whether they are a viewer. Hi, who's there? Keys. Yes. Are they done already? All right, we got the dogs off to the groomers today. Window leads. Thank you. I love you. Okay. So yeah, feel free to scroll up. We've got a bunch of different thoughts for channel points, including like spending them to put a critique of your game in a queue that we play through, doing an analysis of any sort of game or film that we can, showcasing your game where you just get a spotlight, no critique, you just get like a moment to have some advertising and have people chat about it. Lots of different ideas. People are throwing out different concepts. Feel free to throw anything that you have in there, anything you'd like to see. Anything that you feel would help people build games. That's the objective. It's not about, we could do the silly, like, spin a wheel and now I have to code with a handstand. But I'd really like to do everything that I can to drive value to people who are here. You can just walk through your code. I'm jelly, lol. 2D Fighter, why are you jealous of my code? What do you mean? There is nothing to be jealous of in my code. Nothing at all. Especially coming from someone like yourself. I feel I'm misinterpreting something here. Okay, so we've got our enemies. Let's dive back into this. So, by the way, hold on. Here we go. I need to post this in our Game Jam channel. Gotta throw this in the Discord here. Rod just joined us and made the delightful Mage Knight for the jam. I'm very excited to have him here. Clap. Go play it. It's a neat little bullet hell / Zelda / Souls-like. Awesome. Cool. I saw a hand pop out of your coat. That was Wife Quest, by the way, for those of you who have been in the stream regularly and seen her around. That was the lovely lady Wife Quest. Okay. Ironically enough, named that way after a previous incarnation of this channel, back when it was called Stream Quest, where we got our first, 75 followers, and 85 followers, something like that. And they're completely inactive at this point, because I didn't stream for about 3 years after doing that. So enemies, what do they have? They have states. They will have moving. They will have idle, theoretically. They will have attacking. Master hand, that's right. Oh, man. If you were part of that original N64 Smash Brothers crowd, holler. You're in good company. I sold my copy of Super Smash Brothers for, I think, $7 to a friend shortly after its release because I had no concept of money, and I was just kind of excited to be getting attention from an older brother of one of my friends. Okay, so idle, attacking, and hit, damaged. Oh, and you know what? We have another one we need to talk about, which is loss. They're beaten, they're defeated. Death state. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yep. Exactly it, Game Maker. So we've got death state, and we're gonna need death state over here too. So we need death, and we need end of run. Oh, come on, are we following me? There we go. End of run. You know what, why don't we go to the browser? That would make more sense. Oh, it doesn't look as good, that's why. Okay, never mind. Alright. Oh. Alright, whatever. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it later. So enemies have their states. So we need to have... What else? They have their states. They need to have their stats. So they need to have health. And similar to the player, they'll probably have a max and a current. Maybe they can drop tribute. Oh dear, and now my design brain is jumping all over the place. Like, ooh, what if you're really heavily aligned with one god, and now when you defeat the enemies that are coming from their rival god, you get extra tribute, but only if it's devoted to that god. Ooh, so interesting. And then it's like, oh, do I really want to build all that? Do I really want to build it? The name of the game here is Tight Scope. Tight Scope. So just a value. If we get to that sort of a thing, could be rad. Let's say like stretch goal is god-specific tribute. And I do think that could be rad. I think that would do a lot of interesting things. And like if you try to give a rival god's tribute to their rival, then it counts as less, or maybe you can do it, but you will suffer an extra bane in the next thing. A lot of really interesting things to kind of influence the decision making, but scope, keep the scope down. So enemies have states, stats, tribute reward. They will have attack patterns. But you know what? We're not out of stats yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. Did I mention the doctor's appointment I was at was in relation to ADHD medicine? So in addition to tribute reward, we also need to have their movement. So do they fly? Or do they jump? Or are they solitary? We need to have speed. Whoa, iPad just freaked out there. That was weird. Speed. And we also need, this isn't a part of speed, but this is, if they jump, we should probably have some sort of like a cooldown on their jump. So let's bring that back over. Cooldown jump. Cooldown jump. Okay. If they jump, I do that. All right, hold on. I need to jump into something here in Discord. Hold on, Rod. No spoiling at all. This is what we're all about here. Sharing in each other's ridiculous dreams. There have been some awesome submissions from community members up above. Definitely check them out as well. Okay, cool. Whew. We're making progress here. We're an hour in. If this helps, these are the states I have for jumping. One moment, I'm writing up now. I would love that, 2D Fighter. And you know what? That's a good point. We could probably get a boilerplate for this, right? This is the sort of thing that you shouldn't have to be building every single time, because most games are going to share a ton of these states. Yeah. That's something I need to build. I need to build a resource document for like common states for your game and have just this big master document that you can copy and paste stuff out of and put into a design doc. I like that. I like that a lot. 2D Fighter, your gem. Thank you. YouTube is jumping, by the way. YouTube's definitely winning the YouTube versus Twitch debate here today. Twitch, y'all are quiet. Which is fine. It's fine. It just breaks my heart. So we've got states, stats, and we've got attack patterns. And so that's going to be kind of difficult to nail down at this point. We can have effects, because theoretically, one of these things attacks may not be like striking the player. It could be like spawning a slime that starts crawling around, and it's a summoner instead of an attacker, right? So we'll go broad and say effect, and then we have attacking in our states, right? Yes, we do. Okay. I feel like we need to have something in here about like movement or animation or how they attack. It's not just the effect, it is the method of the attack, which is confusing all of the programmers when I say method. So maybe I can say attack vector, attack, I don't know, let's, vector, I'm just gonna write it down because I kind of know what I'm talking about, even if nobody else does. Jump start, jump up, jump fall, jump land. The same layout for jump forward and backwards, the same for super jump and double jump, all the same layout with a simple debug to let me know what state. That's crazy. Okay, yeah, this is exactly why we're doing this, is because y'all are like way better than I am at all this. So, you're right. We are gonna need over here in the player, we are gonna need double jump. I know that's gonna be a power up, right, for us. And so we can put that in state double jump. Falling. Ooh, falling. Yeah. Falling. Jump start and jump up. So there's like the sequence you play to like do the big jump move, but then you're in the air and now you're just kind of in an upwards state and then you're in a fall state, right? And those are going to be all individual things. That makes sense. So jumping, we have start and rise and fall and forward and backwards. You're gonna have to convince me on that one, because wouldn't that just be like the same thing, but with your, jeez, hit the microphone again, but with your sprite flipped, right? I'm sure there's a good reason, because I don't think you would build all that without a good reason. I'm just saying that I'm struggling to conceptualize it right now. The same for super jump and double jump. Super jump. And that would be the charge length here. That's kind of the super jump concept. So that's a state we need to include. Jump charging. And then there will probably be a jump start, like a super start, and rising at the very least. Jump, rising. Fighting game for forward and backward commands. Oh, so you need to know what direction they're facing, because a quarter circle back is going to be a different input than a quarter circle forward. Got it. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Okay. So we've got our enemies listed out here. I think we can maybe move to power-ups. Nolly ND over on Twitch. I suppose I'm late to the party, but what kind of jump are you talking about? Something like Mario jumps or something more restrictive like Castlevania jumps? Ooh, that's such a good question. Oh, I love that. I will answer that question in just a second. I want to make sure that I hit 2D Fighters comments because I'm really bad at remembering to get to things. But I will get to your question because I love it. It's basic frame data. Start up, active, cooldown. Yeah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Awesome. Okay, Nolly. We are building a game. We're architecting right now. Oh, there we go. We're architecting a game to capitalize on the biggest lesson that I have learned since starting game dev, since submitting to the Pirate Software Game Jam, and frankly, that I've been learning over the past 10 years of being a product designer, which is that polish wins. So we started off the stream by talking a little bit about this guy right here, the aesthetic usability effect. And it's a very real thing. It's a very real thing in psychology. It's well studied. It's something to look up. You can see it as a universal principle of design everywhere where things are very, very successful. So I kind of suck at it. I kind of suck at polish. I've always been much more conceptual, much more strategy focused. And the spending the time to really crank through and polish something has not been my strong suit. in my decade as a product designer, it's never where I've shined. I've always shined in leading a team, in creating a strategy, making sure we're lining up with business objectives and we're tying those business objectives into user needs. But visual polish I've kind of sucked at. So the whole goal of this project is, and I'm realizing this is not the question that you asked. I'm going to finish the spiel because maybe there's someone in here who doesn't know this, and then I will get to your actual question. Thank you for your patience. We're doing this whole thing where you can take one action, you jump, and that is the game. And we're going to polish that jump as highly as we possibly can. So, in answer to your question, what kind of jump are you talking about? The way that I'm envisioning this, because of that high polish emphasis, is we want it to feel empowering. This is the entire way the player interacts with the level. So it needs to be very, very, very empowering. So I'm aiming more towards Mario Jump on that spectrum that you mentioned. There is a game, an indie game. What is it called? Where all you do is jump. You're this dark-skinned gal, and you like jump in angles, and you stick to ceilings and floors, and that's your interaction method is jumping. It's kind of a Metroidvania. Jumping yellow clothes. And I could have sworn it was like Dodonra or something like that. Oh, you know what? Retromation played it about a month ago. I think I could find it on his channel. Anyways, that's the concept. It's all about empowered, high polish jumping. And if it's not empowering, then it's going to be very, very frustrating. Wall grab, wall slide, wall jump. Now that's interesting. Walls. Dandara. There it is. So I'm going to mute this. Bring it onto our browser here. Oh, it's going to force us through this whole ad. Goodness. That's an interesting point, 2D Fighter, because that pushes it into like a... I mean, how do I describe this? 2D, but also a cross-section view. I've been viewing it as like a top-down type sort of thing, Frogger style. So that's interesting. So you can see here, this is the jumping mechanic in this game. Okay, let's skip forward a little bit. And that's it. You aim your jump and you stick to the wall. And that's the game. And I guess there's like shooting and stuff too. But that's the gimmick, right? You can't walk horizontally. You can't walk anywhere. You have to jump. And so that jump has to be very, very, very empowering. Unless it's a game about being not empowered, in which case, that's a different thing. Let's see here. My wife just texted me saying that our little boy, who is unborn, likes the song Here in Your Arms by Hello Goodbye. That is very, very sweet. He's going to be born in just a couple of weeks, y'all. I'm going to be a dad again, second kid, in just a couple of weeks. We'll have to figure out what that means for the stream when that comes. Rest assured, it's not going to mean the stream stops. This is 100% the direction we're pursuing, I hope, forever. So, not going to be something like that, but we may take a few days to a week off, and then I may be doing some just chill streams. Maybe we'll play some games. Maybe we'll do some development work. I don't know, until we kind of get back into the swing of things. Good thing about newborns is they sleep a lot, and so I could probably have him in the bassinet next to me and rock him while playing something or coding, and my wife can get some rest. Float jump like Kirby from Smash Bros. Heavy jump like Iron Armor. Quit. 2D Fighter, you're filled with good ideas. Nolly says, oh, all right, mechanically, it's more like impulse than jumping then. At least that's how I can put it in words. So we're not going to be following that same sort of mechanic. The kind of concept that we're evolving into here as we're designing it out and architecting out how do we build this is kind of more like Frogger the roguelike. So think like Frogger mixed with Hades, and that's going to get you pretty close to what this is going to be. Duty Fire, my twins will be born in a couple weeks as well. Congratulations to you. Holy, you got twins coming? That's crazy. There was a while where I thought we were for sure going to have twins, and I was really heartbroken, like legitimately weeping all night because they were not twins. Wow. And you're diving into a game jam this month. A month-long game jam. Jeez. Well, congratulations. That's tremendously exciting. I hope it serves as fuel for the fire. That is so cool. Okay. Yeah, man. Oh, those were such good ideas. I'm going to write them down. We probably won't build them for the prototype, but it's good to know that like these are options we're thinking about to keep the code open so that that sort of thing can be brought in. So we can have float, which is essentially kind of like gravity, right? Localized gravity effect. We've got heavy jump, which I'm kind of curious what that might be, but it's sparking a lot of interesting thoughts. And then quick land. And I'm going to put these in a different color. I'm going to put double jump back because I'm pretty sure we're going to want double jump. Although if we're doing Frogger, how would double jump even execute? This is starting to bring it into like doing a highly skilled jumping platforming. And then Frogger is a lot more about timing and decision making. So that's going to be a branch we're going to have to explore. Which route are we going? Are we going high polish, a platformer where all you do is jump? Or is it a timing pseudo sort of rhythm game? This is really interesting. Okay. She has 2 6-pound babies in her, lol. Oh my gosh, that must be so hard. My wife is dying with our second. Like, he's being a rough pregnancy, but twins would just... Like, we looked up quintuplets the other day because we know someone who had quintuplets. And, yeah, I mean, it gave her nightmares just seeing what that gestation was. My goodness. Man. Corey Cupcakes, what's a 5-second update? I've been busy and haven't caught up. That's just fine, Corey Cupcakes. Welcome in. Thank you for clarifying 5 seconds. We are, because I ramble, I do. So thank you for the specification. I'm already past my 5 seconds. Okay. We're architecting out how we want to build this high polish, low scope game where all you do is jump. And so we've been kind of listing out what are all of our attributes, what are our states, what are we trying to accomplish, what do we need to make sure that we're building for this prototype. I don't like to distract you. You're busy. Distract me. It's fine. The whole point of the stream is not for me to build and sell games. There are lots of streamers who do that. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for community. I'm here for learning. I'm here for, most of all, helping everyone get excited, jazzed, and the skills that they need to just start something. So don't worry about that in the slightest. Amnusis, I think the goal needs to be refined. If it's like Frogger, then it's just a high score, and you can do a lot with different obstacles and power-ups. 2D Fighter says heavy jump, less VSP speed, heavier gravity, be able to break things normally couldn't, like in the old Crash. Okay, that's an interesting thought. Corey, I like what you're doing. I'm feeling a pull to do the exact same thing. Polish equals impressive in the jam. Yes, that's absolutely right, Corey. We were talking about this at the very beginning of the stream. The aesthetic usability effect is a very real psychological phenomenon. Go look it up. You'll learn a lot if you don't know about it already. It is crucial, it is important, and I suck at it. So, Emanusis, I'm curious what you're saying here. I think that the goal needs to be refined. If it's like Frogger, then it's just a high score, and you can do a lot with different obstacles and power-ups. I think it is gonna have a win condition, because I hate high score games. I've never been able to deal with high scores. Like, exercising for me was something I always tried to do, but was so bad at my entire life. I'd do well for a little bit, and then my ADHD brain would just let go, and I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. Until I found a couple of fitness guys online, and their whole point with fitness was not, can you run faster? Can you lift more? Do you look more impressive? It was about skill sets. It was like, can you do a dragon squat? I was like, I don't even know what that is. And all of a sudden, exercise was something I was really interested in because it was about skill sets. And so the analog here is, in my opinion, weightlifting is a score rush, right? It's a can I beat my high score? And that doesn't work for me. So I'm gonna build an actual literal narrative win condition into this. I'm all about streaks. Maybe you could try to finish X things in a row and not break the chain. That's a big concept in habit formation. I could see that. What is the win condition then? A lot of these powers are very context dependent. Yes, absolutely. So what we came up with yesterday, narratively, let's go to our Octalysis design. No, we'll just go to browser. It doesn't look very good because the green screen's broken, but whatever. So if we go over to our Octalysis framework, the meaning that we're getting over here is you have a loved one who has died, and there is a rare, once every century sort of competition or something between this pantheon of gods to see who can lift humanity the most, and it's done through this marathon type sort of event. And the winner grants, if you are the winner, then your god will grant you one boon. And that boon will be for anything that you want. And so you're entering into this competition to resurrect your dead loved one. Man, we could even go back to the dog route on that, honestly. This could be about, like, dogs competing for their dead owner. Ugh, jeez. So the point is to win a race. That's the point. And the boons that you accrue along the way, those power-ups, are going to push you further in your capacity to keep up with everyone, get better, but they are also going to be getting better. And that's something to diagram out here, for sure. Fox, something funny happened. What? I like funny things. Tell me what happened. Okay, how about this? Just a thought writing now to help think of win conditions. I added Paul Walker on Xbox. I wanted to play with him, but he spends most of his time on the dashboard. Paul Walker. Okay. Where's this going? I thought Paul Walker was who I thought he was. So, we have our enemies. We need to have other competitors. And whatever that ends up looking like. And I think we need to go low scope. So I think we're going to take the Battle Tetris. Joke is he died in a car crash while most of his time on the dashboard. Yeah, okay. That's all right. I got it. So, sorry, you got my mind running. You got me thinking about a story I read on Reddit of, I think it was Forza, that does essentially this concept of the competitors. Is Forza the one that has, like, the racing shadows, where you see, like, shadows of other people racing against you at the same time, and it, like, copies their styles and how they play and stuff? Reminded me of a story of whichever racing game does do that. A story I read on Reddit of a guy who used to play that a lot with his brother, and then his brother passes away from cancer. And then he's playing this racing game, and a month and a half after his brother passed, his brother's shadow shows up, and it just brought him to tears, and he felt like he was getting to race his brother one last time. And just, like, you hear stories like that, and you can't tell me that video games aren't powerful, that there's not something meaningful there. That's a pretty common racing game theme. Time attack, usually. Okay. Yeah, this was a while ago, back in my day. So it could have been, I remember this was a big selling point for that particular version of the racing game. So it may have been when that was getting started or something. I don't know. In any case, the story's the important part, not the game. I will unstuck myself from it. Okay. So, competitors, we need to have... I think it would be cool to have them be persistent. Though we came up with this concept of like forming rival sort of environments with them. So the competitors need to have their own god relationships. And it would be really, really cool. It would be really cool. Let's put stretch goal here in big letters. It'd be really cool to have art and dialogue for them. And then we need to have a interruption event. Which has a timer and probably a certain amount of randomness. And then... Oh, people are chatting. Hold on. 2D Fighter, Contra. Have the player fire or attack but have it automatic, so you only worry about jumping and avoiding attacks, and the enemies die by a time set. But it looks as though you were fighting back. I kind of like the idea, 2D Fighter, of like integrating the jump into the combat. And having the combat be a little bit light in a sense, and have the combat really just serve the purpose of the platforming. I like that concept. Amnesis, how do you interact with competitors? If you can't do much to them, it seems like a racing game. If you can, it seems like a battle game. Excellent question. That's a really good question. And I thought I had a good answer to that, but thinking about it, I'm not sure that I do. And we do want it to be a racing game, but just kind of like a little sneaky, underhanded racing game, But it does seem a little unfair that they're interacting with you, but you're not with them. And I don't know if we could come up with a thematic reason why that would be the case. Or not. Or if we need to have some sort of way to influence how far they progress. That's a good question. It's a good question. Because I'm pretty sure I want this to happen off screen. I don't think I want them to be on the screen just purely due to scope reasons, right? I think I want it to be a... what I'm envisioning in my head is like a Hades style, splash art comes in with the person and then like their god behind them that they're most chill with. They say a line of text and then like lightning bolts race across the screen and you need to dodge out of the way of them or something, You could go to the Star Walls route. The combat is just hit them from behind. Star Walls. Oh, is that the Narwhal party game? And of course I googled Narwhal instead of Starwall. Yeah. Yeah, so make it a racing battle game, a la Mad Max. Wife Quest, you're supposed to be my ally here. How dare you make this so much more scope. I like it. I do like it. I really do. I'm worried about my ability to execute on. And if I'm starting to get nervous about my ability to execute on it in a really good way, then that makes me think I probably shouldn't be trying it for this project. If we were doing a different project where the goal was not polish as high as I can in a short amount of time, then I would love to pursue that route. And frankly, who knows where things go? I never expected Pirate Software to mention one of my YouTube videos on his stream or on his Twitter, but that happened. So you never know. Like, maybe this takes off in some sort of way and we can expand it and build it out. But I think to start off with, for my own sanity, I think I need to keep them off screen. As cool as it would be, as rad as I would love to have that all. So we need the timer, we need the effect, and then we need some sort of signifier to the player, hey, this is happening. Racing battle game. Yeah, that would be rad. That would be rad. You'll help. 2D Fighter, you got plenty on your plate already, friend. Dude, you got twins coming in a few weeks. You got 2 games you're building and an engine. What do you mean you'll help? Goodness. You're not going to have time to help yourself. Well, and this is another thing. Like, because I'm seeing in chat, a lot of people are really excited about that concept. And I think it's a cool concept. Like, I have sort of a vision in my head of how that might play out of, how is it called? Nidhogg, I think. Sort of Nidhogg style animations. Nidhogg on Steam. Here we go. With these sort of stick figures running around and nice animations like this. Like, I'm getting that sort of a vibe from it. And I think that would be really cool. I also, anyways, gone over all that. If people are excited about this, then that's something for me as a game developer to be conceptualizing and to be aware of and to be maybe keeping the back door open for a little bit. If a lot of people start to do this, like if we get more feedback from people that are beyond just like this little community and that concept keeps on exciting people, or we're getting playtesting feedback that would be reinforced by this, you know, go where the fun is. Don't go where your vision is. Go where the fun is. Aminusis says, idea, Frogger screen where you must use your jump to plan a path forward. Enemies attack from off-screen. Screen auto-scrolls forward. Mixing dodging with Frogger and power-ups. Frogger screen where you must use your jump to plan a path forward. Enemies attack from off-screen. Screen auto-scrolls forward. Mixing dodging with Frogger and power-ups. Yeah, like I think that's kind of what I have in my head. I think. It's hard to tell. And that's why I love doing this with the crowd. A lot of people might hate this, but I love the very different mental models in everyone's head, because someone will say something and I'm like, oh, you've been conceptualizing this in an entirely different way than I have. And even though we've been talking about the same thing, you have a different idea in your head. So I think that is the idea that I am conceptualizing, Aminusis, but I could be wrong. Game Maker 2D Fighter, I was adding in like a minigame, like how Tekken has Tekken Ball. So it's on list anyway. So, hold on. Are you saying you're building a racing battler in your fighting game? Mad lad. Okay. You guys crack me up. My goodness. So we've got our competitors. Because the thing is, if we start integrating them as like interactable actors, then all of a sudden we bring all of this player stuff. We may bring enemies over. We need a way for the player to interact with them. Like it starts ballooning a lot. And I don't want to go that route unless people are saying, this is the fun. So let's go now to power-ups. What would be a good color for those? Green. No, we already got green for world. Let's do orange. Sure. That'll be easy to read on the green background, right? As I start writing down orange. Okay. Power-ups. Jeez. 2D Fighter on YouTube says, after Metroidvania Game Jam, I'll create a battle race template for you. Also using the fighters templates. You're out of this world, man. I don't know how you even have the courage to say such a thing, but that is kind of what we're all about here anyways, isn't it? So, hey, if you find joy in it, by all means, you got it. Also, hi, Wife Quest. Welcome in. I didn't even, hi. Glad you're here. Okay. Power-ups. What are some interesting concepts we can do for power-ups. We've already talked about jump modifiers, right? So some stuff we talked about there are charging your jumps. There's, on that note, charge and effects. So you could, charge up your jump, boop, 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 and then that's from one deity. And then another deity says, when you let go of your charge, then I will shoot out a flame blast when you do that. And those could be, you could kind of like piece different things together. I think that could be fun. And effects, duration, and modifier. So you could say, I'm going to let you charge up for 3 more seconds. And for every second that you charge, you are increasing your jump capacity by a certain scale. And so increasing the duration affects the modifier. But then you might also say your rate of increase could also go up, right? So we got jump modifiers on charging. We also have just jump height and speed. We could copy all this stuff over from the player. To be frank, we could kind of just copy all this stuff over, right? Just play with all the states. Height, length, distance, charge length. We got that one already written down. We got lives, which is an easy one. Fine work with Hillock. Thank you for following. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a great day. That was interesting. I wonder why that showed up in 2 different places. In any case, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. This is the place where we try and help each other make impossible things. We are a charitable organization dedicated to helping people develop and gain the skill sets that they never thought that they could, so they can enter the video game industry. Right now, we're trying to architect, from a coding perspective, a very small scope game that my entire objective with this is not to make money, although that would be nice, but the objective is, instead of making money, make something very small that I can polish the heck out of. Because polish wins. Polish absolutely wins, and I'm really bad at it. I'm really good at concepts and strategy and synergy and all that sort of stuff, but I'm really bad at polish. So this is a constructive exercise for me. Welcome in. I hope you're making something incredible as well. Also, with that met our follower goal of 130. Thank you so much, everyone. You're all lovely. Charge Jump, I need that. Thanks, you're so welcome. Well, gosh, it's about time I repay at least a little bit with all the great ideas you've thrown my way. Okay. Jump modifiers. Also, that's another good point. The act of creating can be private and good. Like, you need to have your own personal creative hobbies. But if you are also able to find a way to share that with people, not necessarily your private hobbies, you need that space. If there's a way you can share what you do with other people, it will benefit them in ways you would not expect. So go out there, build stuff, share it with us. I want to see it. And we'll keep moving. So we have height, we have speed, we have... what all did I just erase? Oh. All right. We could modify, we could maybe add iframes. That could be fun. Let's go to our player states and stuff. We could add armor. We could add lives. We could add passive attacks. Like radial effects, kind of like the Bible from Vampire Survivors, right? You have something kind of orbiting around you. If you've played Tiny Rogues, you've seen a lot of stuff like that. Radial orbit. Ooh, another one could be like if you pass within a certain distance of an enemy, then it lashes out against them. Hits, near misses. That could be fun. Oh, Rodmaker, this is your Twitch account. Lovely. Don't tell anyone. Oh, excuse me. I have told everyone. I'm sorry. Just wanted to help out with the follower count. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. That did get us to our 130. That's lovely. And it's cool because, like I said, we did have an earlier incarnation of this channel under the name StreamQuest, and we got it to about 85 followers there. And I don't think we ever had this many people tuning in regularly. And so we have 85 from there, and then probably 50 from doing this. And we have a much more active base here, much more engaged group of people. So that's really exciting to me. Okay. What else? What other sort of power-ups can we do? We can do level manipulation, where there are more platforms. They could be wider. Wider platforms. Sorry, you cannot read my chicken scratch. If it's any consolation, I can only barely read it. It's because I'm having to like hold my pencil like this and write, so that I'm not like bumping the iPad and causing extra marks all over here. All right. We can make more platforms, wider platforms. Ooh, we could have pickups. And I know this was brought up earlier, but hear me out. So more pickups, and then I'm going to leave the boons, and we're going to go to pickups. All right. Sure. Fuchsia. Let's do it. Power-ups. And these are, or let's do, instead of power-ups, let's do loot. So that will be tribute. And that will come in raw and like chests that you have to unlock. And I think that could be fun, where you have to like stay on that space for a certain amount of time. And so you have to kind of like plan. I can jump to this thing now. I need to make sure that I have enough time of safety to make this work. So we've got tribute, raw and chest, and then we've got power-ups. Like speed up temporarily, invuln. And these are all temporary temporary power-ups, right? So you get the star in Mario, right? That sort of a thing. So speed up, invulnerability, skip distance ahead. So you do like a automatic huge massive jump and you leap forward in the level automatically and skip past, you know, a large amount of space. And that was the thing that got me really excited was that thought. What else on power-ups? Healing. Ooh. Pause the clock? Pause the clock? What about bombs? Just wipe the screen. Wipe the screen. Power boots that gives you different jumps and different jump attacks. That's interesting. My initial gut response was, I think we want to leave that for boons. But then, like, I started thinking about, what was that old side scroll, a classic side scroller SNES. Mega Man in a shoe. Yeah, like suits and stuff. There's, what was it? It was a game that I had never really heard of, but is apparently a very, very big thing. And you have like 3 different colors of main characters you're swapping out. It's kind of a sci-fi theme. You're like sci-fi cops in a sense. Oh man. And it's I don't remember. But yeah, that idea of like Mega Man, right? You jump into the big robot suit and pilot around for a little bit. Maybe. Big suit. with shoulder pads. All right, folks, we've got about another 10 minutes before I'm going to have to jump off for the day and get to some other work that I've got for this charitable enterprise. I sure do appreciate all of you here. Once again, we are a charitable organization trying to help people do things that they never thought that they could and build the skill set to enter the video game industry, whether that's as a solo dev, an indie studio, or a AAA, whatever. We just want to help people consider something that most don't. And not just consider it, but actually take meaningful steps in that direction. So if that sounds of value to you, you're in the right place. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We are architecting out concepts for a very simple, low-scope project that I can polish very highly. So that's what we're doing for the last few minutes. I'm going to jump off in about 10. But if you want to continue seeing the production of this game, we're going to start getting into prototype building tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. Because I think we've kind of got everything we need from an architectural standpoint. I think the next step for me to do would be to define, like, how do I structure all this in terms of scripts and global variables and doing all that sort of stuff. And then we're going to start coding. We're going to start building this in a very low fidelity fashion, just gray blocks on a screen that I'm going to build myself, and no randomness, all that sort of stuff that we're planning out here. We're not going to be actually building in the prototype. We're going to prototype fast and lean and get it in front of people and see what their feedback is and see where is there fun or not, so that we can see, okay, we really need to lean more into this competitor side, and maybe we need to, drop the loot a little bit. Could be. But the point is, get out of our heads, get out of our own design spaces, and see what actually happens when the boot hits the road, so to speak. Also, as a big reminder, tomorrow we are going to be doing a very special stream. We're going to be going longer than we normally do. Normally we stream from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming from 3 till about 7 Eastern, because we're going to be doing a special set of interviews, co-hosting with Amanusis, who's a friend of the channel and community member, who is a lovely streamer himself. So we're going to be interviewing different developers that submitted projects for the Pirate Software Game Jam. It's going to be rapid fire, 15 minutes. We're going to play through their game, chat with them about it, see what they learned. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a really, really high intensity learning experience for everyone involved, and I'm super excited about it. This is all Amanusis' idea, and I'm very lucky that he's allowing me to contribute. 2D Fighter, my live later today, I'll start it in response to this. I'll show how I'm handling my jumping and how I can run a battle racer. Then I'll get it into my code, so at least come for the start of it. I will do everything in my power. When do you go live normally? I don't know. Do you have a schedule? But yes, I would love to be there. I would love to see how that all is functioning. By the way, 2D Fighter, definitely go check his channel out if you haven't. Let me see if I can throw that up on Twitch, because people should definitely go check out GameMaker 2D Fighter. He's making an entire fighting game plug-and-play engine for GameMaker. So definitely go check him out. He's working on some wild stuff. And he's going to be working on the Metroidvania Game Jam starting soon. So you're definitely going to want to go check that out. Oh, we got a few minutes left. Okay. Lovely. We can make some progress here. Let's start kind of underlining things in a color, blocking it out in a color that helps us to see what are areas that we want to build out, or what are areas, sorry, not that we build out, what are areas that may need to be global variables. Let's start with that. Let's start small scope here. I don't house is crazy. Yeah, by the way, his partner is giving birth to twins in a few weeks, so definitely living the dream here. Also, for those of you who are hanging out, we're gonna raid someone. We got 8 people over in Twitch, and I'm feeling like spreading the love here today. We have a bunch of people that are streaming their game to absolutely no one, and I want to throw some people their way. So be sure to hang around for a little bit after the stream. We'll be throwing the link to the stream as well for those of you on YouTube if you would like to join us. We would love to have you there and would love to make someone's absolute day. I know I would have loved having 8 people get raided into my stream when I was streaming to 1 or 2 people. So with that, let's start labeling out which of these things are going to be globals. I think these player states can and should be globals. I think they absolutely should be. Because we're going to have a lot of things that are going to need to interact with these. And that's something that I learned during the game jam. Something isn't global just because it is like a global attribute, right? It's not just time of day, right? That's what I would think of when I think global. It really needs to be global if you need to refer to it when there's no object in the screen. And this is a game maker thing. If you don't have an instance of that object in your room, you will not be able to touch it. Hit the microphone again, sorry. So make sure if you have anything that needs to talk to each other, make them globals. So the world. Ironically, I don't think any of this level content needs to be, I don't think any of that needs to be defined in global anythings. I think it could just live in a struct. Let's use a different color. I think this can be a locally scoped struct with scripts. Struct with scripts. And the same thing goes for these platforms. And that will just be like creation. So we'll probably have some sort of function to say, probably look into time sources. I haven't looked into time sources at all. I've always used alarms. Time sources are the new way to like track time passing in Game Maker. I haven't really played with it at all. Probably have time sources to say every X amount of time within a random range, spawn a new platform at a random position with a random width. And that will be the level generation. So, we got our charge multiplier. We can erase that. Let's go to our enemies. Do enemies need to be globals? I think they're going to need to at least reference globals, even if... So there needs to be like a global version and a local version, right? Because you need to have like a global health that is then taken and applied to individuals. So the states, these are all going to be local. But then the stats, I think, are going to need to be globals. And then the attack patterns are going to be local. And that's when we're going to have to start getting into sequences and stuff. This game is going to use a lot of sequences for its animations, I am imagining. I don't really know because I've only used sequences in a couple of really small, just kind of test projects. So I definitely need to figure out that, and I need to figure out art and animation and everything. I just stopped in somebody's stream the other day. Off-Grid Pig, I think, was his name. And his whole thing is he does game dev, but he's completely off the grid. He operates entirely off of solar power. And he showed me an awesome thing in Game Maker. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Something that he defined as OP. And frankly, I'm kind of inclined to agree with him. So we've got our Game Jam submission set up. If we wanted our bile ball sprite, for example, let me grab this. If we wanted like some cool particle animation on this, check out what we can do here. Open an image editor. So we can take this frame, paste it. Then I'm going to use a high contrast color just to make it very visible. You get like your spray brush. Check out how cool this is. If we hit make a new layer, I'm remembering all of these things that he told me to do, which is a miracle. So we hit play, we're animating, right? We can now go to our, is there no spray tool? Well, that's fine. We've got our brush here. We can start doing this. Look, it's animating. Isn't that rad? I didn't know you could do that. And you're like, you know what? That didn't work. Let's try again. Say whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Now we've got whoosh lines. That took 2 seconds. And obviously it doesn't look great, but like, it's there. and you can kind of go slower or faster. And like it all just like works. Isn't that such a cool way to animate particles? My jaw dropped when he showed that to me the other day. Super cool dude, by the way. Be sure to check out Off-Grid Pig if you see him. Is this just like total bro with massive, long, fluffy hair in a dimly lit green screen cutout, and he's just making some wild stuff. He's relatively new to game dev, but does all sorts of really cool things. So, anyways, dang, that's pretty cool. I know, right? Isn't it super cool? He said some other things that he did. So, like, fire is a very good example of how this just makes that really easy. And then he also said you can turn your brush into a sprite. So if I was better at this and I knew how to do this, you could make a brush out of a sprite. So you could make a sprite out of birds that are flying overhead and circling over something, and you just paint the birds on. And then those sprites will animate. Coolest freaking thing. Dang, that's pretty cool. Yes, that is pretty neat. Real-time animation. Yes, you sound like me when I found out. Rod Maker, this is one of those tricks everyone must know. Yeah, I totally agree. It blows my mind that it's buried so far, you know? Oh, and then if you draw a shape, it pauses it. Okay, interesting. This is interesting. Yeah, anyways, play around with this stuff. It's paint selection tool. Hold on. Can I then only draw in those spaces? Oh, you can. Anyways, really cool stuff. Cool people are making stuff all the time that you've never heard of. And it's just, whether because they're missing a certain marketing skill or because they just haven't been lucky, you've never learned. And I think that's a huge tragedy. So definitely go spend some time with some small creators. Thank you for spending time with a small creator today. Turn your sprite into a brush. Yeah, do you know how to do that, 2D Fighter? And maybe that's the last thing we'll do before we jump off for the day. How do you do that? How do you turn your sprite into a brush? I assume you do that in the image editor, right? And then, like, I can't right-click on anything. Can I, like, drag a sprite onto here? No. Color replace, color remove, color remove. Is that actually going to work? Oh, okay, so we have to be on the layer. Oh, that's rad. That's rad. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I haven't played around with this pretty much at all. Good magic wand. Box select the egg and copy. Box select the egg and copy. What, like duplicate? Do I do it in here? Assign texture group? Create sprite from images, create sprite. Assign texture group. Yeah, I don't know. There's all sorts of cool stuff in here. And especially if you're interested in participating in game jams, learning how to use the tool quickly and efficiently is going to make a world of difference because it's going to give you more time to be able to polish. Chat is slow. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I need to look at that. I need to look at doing more low latency, zero latency sort of stuff because my connection can definitely handle it. So, okay. Rad-atudinous. Let's go ahead and jump into a raid. And I'm going to refresh here my directory, and let's find someone who's just like making something neat. Let's go to someone who's using Godot, because I could learn some more Godot. So we're going to go to LTL King. For those of you who are on YouTube, feel free to join us over there if you'd like, if you do Twitch. And with that, thank you all very much, all of you, for coming to hang out with us. It has been such a pleasure. I have loved every minute of today. Thank you for making my day. And with that, we'll see you next time. I hope you keep making something amazing. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't miss it. Don't miss the interview series. It's going to be great.